Zambia, like many other developing countries, faces a significant challenge in the provision of decent accommodation for vulnerable and elderly citizens. Many of these individuals live in substandard houses and are not able to afford proper housing and may also face discrimination and neglect. For many years, the vulnerable and elderly citizens in Zambia have lived in inadequate housing conditions, struggling to survive day by day. But all that is about to change as the government of the Republic of Zambia is constructing social housing units to improve living conditions for the elderly and vulnerable citizens in southern and eastern provinces. This is a pilot project being undertaken by the Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development. In the southern province, the housing units will be in Choma, Pemba, Gwembe, Namwala and Sinazongwe. While in the eastern province, the districts include Vubwi, Chadiza, Mambwe and Sinda. In Lusaka province, the government is also constructing some houses in Luangwa district. The aim of this project is to improve settlement and housing for vulnerable groups with a specific focus on those who receive social cash transfers. This pilot project is providing hope and a much-needed solution to the social housing crisis and is to be rolled out to other provinces soon. This is Pemba district, a transit town in southern province. In this district, the Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development has constructed 10 low-cost houses for the vulnerable and the aged.
Progress of this project, 10 houses are supposed to be constructed in Pemba district, of which 8 have been constructed and are 100% done. And we are remaining with 2, of which the sites for the remaining 2, it is inaccessible due to bad terrain. So we hope maybe the sites can be changed to other locations where the contractor would access the site.
Children of the beneficiaries are delighted with the decent housing constructed by the government through the Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Uyu mumbu bari kujana bajembere kungandei njibari kukara masenke ari bogede so kwari unga wabora bohura kuteya madishi masiku ahura madishi kweta menda kuyotira anze wabe yohura masiku kwari buyu mwimbwa uti kunyina kuona masiku kuteya madishi kulinda uti nizahura iraima yaima hura ni bari kuona notwarumba urugwa hurumende ya UPND urugwa ndo yatupa ubajembere beso bamama aba ubayagira nganda twakomana ga party maningi kambo bari pengete wina ni bari kuona pe notwakomana urugwa ruboto ruwa kubayagira ngande imboto twakomana aswe tobana twajana kugondwa maningi
hinda gariko mu buhwahwe so nindaga bwana ndaje nati bajembere bari pengete bwana ko gwehoyaga munsi ho uri nganda yari kunzo nyinda yabayagirite pora yakabora nkora yadiri mugangande bwana abantu nebasika kokko kuta ayikatu yabora ngaba majembere banga bari pengete usigari mwe bapegwa inganda eyiri wawa so mapenzi maningi bajembere bagaraji sinshobeni kubora nganda ino nga nkurumba kupati maningi stereo kubona kuti twaba abantu bandi kwahira mujembere kumuyegera nganda uhurumende be ndi pakurumba kupati maningi stereo ari mugine jinda wawa byape nkurumba kupati bya maningi stereo byari mwe uhurumende gije yakumbere kuyabukwa ya mapenzi yabo bantu.
This is a village in Namwala district of Southern Province. Namwala is known for cattle rearing. Here, the government is constructing 10 low-cost houses for the vulnerable and aged.
Twalisa kuno twashire mukula manda yali 10 yonze pamo twambile pa 8 September kukula manda natukula kwa manda about 8 yali pa levels then ayali 2 yali pa slab and pa footing punch.
One of the beneficiaries of these housing units is Nyundu Kamaya, an 81-year-old woman who has been blind and mobility challenged for years. She is being taken care of by her granddaughter.
Baitwere byambere kuyambuba kachitani kuyambuba katalika makwamba tibaitwere yambere kwamba bamuda bamuchembere ndiza barajana makona kambo mboya yatalika hula sitere kabotu kambo mboya yatalikira byo hula kam yatalika kuba wide tabaona kona kabotu pe ndarumba maningi kwamba tibabaya kireko nganda ndarumba maningi government.
This is Anna Kabango, another soon-to-be beneficiary. She is hearing impaired, which has added to the challenges she faces daily. She lives with her grandson.
Iyo mimi kulumba yo mana nganda tindalo mbaba kando masebeza ndakuzanda kufela mu business umbesenje iko ko yamana nganda mbenda kulumba yo.
This is Taimu Mukulu, who is 89 years old and living alone. He has been neglected by his family for years. With his new social housing unit, which is still on slab level,
Mbulimbo batukitira so kitabu nitiyo murumba butireza twarumbisha baturanga mbaba tujina twakabona president ulivo kufurumende ayizidirire kundiswe bapushi.
Sarah Chizongo is another would-be beneficiary of a housing unit. She lost her heart to the floods that hit Namwala in the previous rainy season.
Kunali mvula na mpepo kubwela kuno kafuwe kaika manzi so munyumba tinadabwa bunga bonse kuyenda mwana wanga chamene batukitile wa president batu ziko mukwambiri ise tupempela chabe kuti manyumba asile mwamsanga.
96-year-old Thomas Mandanji Oluli and his 86-year-old wife Lois Kasoka are beneficiaries of a house that is currently under construction on their piece of land.
No kulumba kupati ku government watuza kia komanda no tuvapehi kwina chitu kwete pe utaona full government achita so ili kawotu
mvumi wangu ndilatonga uka kamuta kwete bana 10 bonse bakamana ndakabazikawa ino kuina sindi kwete kana komwi ndalumba maniki kubona nganda
nati yamana government pe yatubamba mbubo.
From Namwala district of Southern Province, we move to Luangwa district of Lusaka Province. In Luangwa district of Lusaka Province, the government is constructing 103 housing units for the displaced victims of perennial flash floods along the banks of the Luangwa River. The first phase of the project involves the construction of 50 houses.
This project was identified based on the 3 unplanned settlements that we had. Then we selected this particular one because we were displacing. It was identified because of the people, the vulnerability, the people that were vulnerable. identified as the vulnerable people of the project. The project was split into two, which is the first project, which is the phase 1, comprising of the 50 houses. Then the second part is the 53, which will be done at in situ development. So the 50 are currently at 90% and scheduled to be completed by January next year.
The contractor, Zonko Company Limited, is doing the final touches to the 50 housing units of the first phase.
The project number October per 6 last year, 2022. Nziri suppose kusira pa October 2 manje kunziko madrainment mpaka tafika na this time, but next month isira project.
The victims of the perennial flash floods are from 3 unplanned settlements that are situated along the riverbank and within Puka Chiefdom.
The people were displaced by water. Not once, not twice, but several times. And I'm very happy that the government has listened to the cry of the people. The community wanted to refuse. In fact, they had refused completely. But I came in and told them the benefit.
The victims of the perennial flash floods are happy to be beneficiaries of the housing units.
Na kukakavili manza ni kukisa chape. So choyamba nifuna kuyamikira boma pamene yaganiza kuno kulwangwa nga kuno kuboma kuno first time kuona chisanzo cha mtundu. So ndikakonza kuti boma ipitilize kupereka thandizo munga kulifovutikira.
Nimvera bwino ponipasa ko nyumba iyi kulingana mavuta amene apitambo manzi amene timavutikira manzi amene timapitamo. So ndiyonga kwa beziko pathandizo amene atipasako wa boma.
From Luangwa district in Lusaka province, we move to Eastern province, where the government, through the Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, is constructing 50 housing units in Sinda, Mambwe, Vubwi and Chadiza for the vulnerable and aged people who are under the Social Cash Transfer Program. Works have reached an advanced stage.
We have 12 for Sinda, we have 14 Mambwe, we have 11 Vubwi, and 12 in 13 in Chadiza. We commenced work in January this year, and between now and then we've done 28 units. As you can see, Sinda is finished. Mambwe is yet to finish in the next 3 weeks. Waiting paint work there. Chadiza, we have already started doing foundations there. And in the next 1 month again, we should be in Vubwi.
This is a village in Sinda, one of the districts in Eastern Province. Although a vibrant and bustling community, many households here, especially the vulnerable and elderly citizens, face the harsh realities of poverty and inadequate housing. This is Mwazisa Nkapiri, one of the beneficiaries of the housing units.
Danda uranditwo kumata osauka tilitempana tere omba ndi apa mvula ikalokwa tilitempana tilikwangwanga nabwera ukatiendera ndiyabona ikakalokwa mvula tilitempana. Nimvera bwino mapempero nicho nzera upempera kuti kaya mwayi wa mtundu wanje.
Tisekenji Mvula is another widow and beneficiary of a housing unit. The hut she is living in leaks during the rainy season and is at the point of collapsing.
Nyumba da mangira inachita bwino boma. Pambana kuti igwere ikanipa. Mbona uko kale anachita unichotsa anthu amwe ha kuti tinachite ngozi. Mbandi baba nigona umulomba. Umusina lowemo nkali julo amatiti kachita kuuzana.
This is Asiteli Banda, a widow and beneficiary of a housing unit. She narrates how it all began.
Kuno kumutita khala zaka vachino chaka chimwe chitambwira kuti zambobwera nyumba notitana mwese tidalembetsa maina kongoja ati bwera nikuona mwese mbese nopita tense mwada tilembera maina basi tona kuti chaka chino mulandira manyumba yanu yazombelembetsa tona dino tibweretsera ngamba ndipo timadziwa kuti iyayi wabwera ntchito boma labwera ntchito lotini nkhadi boma.
This is a village in Mambwe district. Here, the government is constructing 14 social housing units as part of its initiative to improve the living conditions of the vulnerable and elderly citizens in this district. This is one of the houses being constructed and is at the plastering stage.
And in Mambwe, we've been given 14 houses to construct. The manpower, we have 22 in total. Yes, in total. And we started this project last year in November. And the completion month is next month. In terms of percentage, I can say we've done 70%. 70%. And in plastering, we are just remaining with 2. And floor, we've done 11.
Janala Piri is one of the beneficiaries of the housing units. She was abandoned by her husband due to her medical condition and now lives with her children.
Nitengewa neze na alume wangu neo, alume nengu nikana kamba kao kulwala niambira mmanja mwawe yo. Mniamba kulwala matenda bamene awopona akhunyu. Ndiye alume niliya mama niliya tate. Nga mmanja mwa malume. Mpinao nako naona nkhani ya chinji ya nanda yanifikira. Nanda nani ninayo ni yani mangira boma.
This is Violet Piri. She had 7 children but only has 1 left.
Siniza chamene ningachite kuli ya president watu. Ndaba sinalo chetekera pano pamene munoona nilibe bana. Nina mwana che umozi. So nkhala mosaukira nthawe itali maningi koma niyamika mulungu kuti ananika apo pali program. Koma niyamikira kuswa chape vochita kuli ya president kuti ngabachite bwanji. Ndipo tingayamikire kuti batichitira msanga tangenamu. Ni December tagonamu.
Another beneficiary is Wallace Ngoma, a 69-year-old retiree and resident of Jumbe Chiefdom. His old incomplete house is in a deplorable state, but the housing unit constructed by the government will bring dignity to him.
Muli bantu banyingi muno mu Chiefdom yaso ya Jumbe, koma pa 2 million kupezeka poneo. Kupezeka kuti boma yaniganizira kuti nipezeko na ng'anda noyamikira ngako paicho kuti boma yani mangira ng'anda ni pano ni mkati muno lomba so niyangana kuti zikoma kwambiri boma.
These housing units will not only improve the living conditions of the beneficiaries, but has already created employment opportunities for local contractors and builders.
Batandizira umphawu jameneteze nawo ubweresa pasaizi yokuta vantu ipike pasaizi ya kuti tiziwe kuti chabwino nini so senza na makampani at least umphawu machivapo.
Project itandiza monga ise vachinyamata kupeza kuvochita kupama tizinkhala chabe tiziyendaenda kuchita nsomba na zeve zinzovuta umu but tipezekana chance yakuti tibwa tisevenzako tipeza kukalikonse kamene katitandizira kusunga mafamilies yathu kupereka ku vana ku skulu ni through project yatitandizirako mnjira zambiri.
This social housing initiative, financed by the government of Zambia and undertaken by the Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, is designed to improve the lives of some of Zambia's most vulnerable and elderly citizens. Through this project, the government of Zambia is prioritizing the needs of the most vulnerable and elderly members of society by providing them with decent and affordable housing and paving the way for a brighter and more inclusive future.